Hello, my wild and brave friends. Welcome to week 4 of September Strong here at Wild and Brave. So glad to have you with us. If you are catching this live or if you are joining us for the replay, we have a lot of friends who join us for the replay. So if that's you, speak up in the comments, say hello to us. You can do hashtag rockin' the replay if you like to let us know when you join us. This month, September, we're really focusing on strengths here at Wild and Brave. And each week this month, we have taken a look at one of the different strengths tests. There's so many out there, we can't actually preview them all, but we have looked at a few that are pretty popular, some that we find particularly useful. Hey, Super Lou, glad you're with us for our Facebook Live today. You have to let us know in the comments where in the world you are. You always watch from the most interesting places. As we dig into strengths today, this particular strengths test that we're looking at is called VIA, Values in Action. And when you take the test, it allows you to see where the most meaningful things in your life, where your value strengths are. Last week when we talked about DISC, a personality assessment, we looked at something I like to call personality strengths, how your natural wiring gives you a certain set of giftings. But with your values in action, it's actually pretty unique the way values in action works, because it allows you to see where you're showing up as strong right now. Some personality tests and some strengths tests really try to get at the essence of you, the part of you that remains the same throughout your life. And that can be really helpful because it helps you have a deeper self-knowledge, and you can really kind of learn about yourself in a durable way. Values in action, though, teaches you a type of strengths that is meant to shift throughout your life. Who has noticed that different seasons of life require different things from you? Early in your education, when you're just focusing on yourself, it feels like you need to be able to learn, you need to be able to operate with minimal sleep, you need to be able to take advantage of opportunities and just be flexible. Different seasons of life bring different challenges, and the way you show up can be very genuine to yourself, but also still look very different in different seasons of life. Super Lou's totally noticed that. You've done so many different things in your life. I imagine you have experienced big shifts in which of your values you're putting into action rise to the top and manifest themselves the most during different seasons of life. Yeah, Super Lou says absolutely. It's just one of those things. We're not meant to be static. And if we try to stay exactly the same all the time, we tend to fail, because we're meant to grow, but also to bring out different parts of ourselves to meet different challenges. So VIA is one of our favorites here at Wild and Brave when it comes to learning and understanding your strengths. If you've never taken a strengths test before, maybe you're new to Wild and Brave, or you're new to personal growth and development, and you'd love to see yourself through the lens of strengths. One of the reasons we do focus so much on strengths is because if you start with where you're strong, you start with what's right with you instead of focusing on where your weaknesses are or trying to fill in your gaps. Starting with strengths gives you a place of energy to work from, and it enables you to have exponential growth. Instead of breaking even, you get to focus on your strengths, and you can really outperform yourself and really outperform the other people you're working with in a way that makes you shine. If you're trying to advance in your career or attract healthy, happy, interesting people to be your friends and colleagues, you need to be showing up in your strengths, because it puts a shine on you that makes other people want to be a part of what you're doing. All right, so that's where we focus on strengths. If you want to take a free strengths test, VIA, the one we're talking about today, actually is available for free. We've arranged for you to take it. You can check the link in the post and click click through, and you'll be able to take the VIA Values in Action Strengths Assessment and see what they call your signature strengths. Now, I always like to give a little preview of what the test is like. One reason we really love this test is because it ranks you on 24 different signature strengths, they call them, and those 24 strengths are what they have boiled down kind of the human wiring for how our values can show up and be strong in our lives. We love this test, and as Super Lou says, hashtag take the test. It's a really great test. It's kind of fun to take. What it shows you is it takes those 24 signature strengths that they have observed populations, not just here in the US, not in North America, not in modernized Western culture. They have tested and proved these 24 character strengths in every known culture around today. So they have worked really hard to do this testing and make sure it's getting at things that are essentially human, not just things that are essentially Western. And so if you love the idea of seeing who you are as a human, not just fitting in a cultural box, this is the test for you to take. All right, so when you take this test, the first thing you'll see, if you've taken this test before, you can put your hand up in the comments. Some of us have taken it several times. Since it's something that shows you where you're at right now, you can take it in different seasons of your life and see what's rising to the top, right? So that's one of the fun things about VIA is it's never a bad time to retake the assessment. So if you take it, it will give you a ranking. All 24 strengths will show up, and it arranges them in the order from most used right now to least used right now. It will rank all 24 for you, and it will show you your top 5, because the top 5, statistically speaking, are the 5 signature strengths that are showing up the most. You're putting them to work right now in your life. So you don't have to worry about this test telling you where your potential is, that it's all these things you're not actually any good at yet. This test is going to show you exactly where you're really strong. Now, what's fun about this test once you take it is you will see that you have strengths, and they give the name of the strength, and then they give this long definition. And the power is actually in that definition, because it will teach you things about yourself and make it possible for you to really lean into where you are strong right now. Now, when we say values, what do you usually think of as values? What does it make you think of? You can kind of put your thoughts in the comments. Oh, we always love seeing what everybody thinks. With this word values, one of the things I tend to think of is the meaning of a thing. So some of the values in action, one that I tend to rank pretty high on in most seasons of my life, it's called the appreciation of beauty and excellence. That's a value. It means seeing and enjoying, and this is just from memory because I've done this so many times, seeing and enjoying, getting value out of and appreciating, sometimes being inspired or feeling awe at. Hey Cheryl, glad you're with us today. Taking joy in things that are beautiful or excellent. Sometimes these are artistic or natural things. Sometimes it's excellence in things like science. Sometimes like if you love NASA and you love studying human achievement, or you're a math whiz and you love how numbers make sense and how you can do a lot with mathematics that people who don't love math don't understand. It may be that you actually really have a high value of appreciating beauty and excellence, because when you see what rises to the top, it fills you with this energy and you're inspired to do something. You're inspired to just enjoy it or soak it up. Hey, Jonna, glad you're with us live today. We're doing a little preview of VIA strengths. Now, Jonna is with us. A huge group of us are going to be going through the VIA strengths together, because you can, as you can see from the post today, you can take the assessment for free. But who out there has ever taken an assessment and not had it change a single thing about their life? I know this has been me. There was a time when I would take a strengths assessment and I felt like the answers were going to show me something wonderful and it was going to do something for me. And then I didn't really know what to do with the information I was given. And so it ended up in a file or a folder somewhere in my closet, and it didn't really change my day to day. But a group of friends and I are going through the VIA strengths together, and we have a 5-day coaching challenge. I'm going to do a coaching session each day this week to help people understand their strengths, use their strengths to overcome challenges, to use their strengths to connect, and to really lead and love their life and embrace and really build on the strengths that you have. And we're using this strengths assessment to do it. So you can check it out for free. Even though it's free, I know it requires your time to be invested to go take it. And so even if you don't go invest a few minutes to take this assessment today, I want you to think about what matters to you right now. Sometimes we think about strengths as being our capacity or our skills. What am I good at? What do I know how to do? And we forget that one of the things that powers us, that's what a strength does, it powers us. It gives us the capacity to accomplish things. One of the most powerful things in our lives for doing that is our values. What matters? What's meaningful to you in your life? Aaron DeSantis just joined us. I'm so happy you're on, Aaron. Really good to see you, friend. I know Aaron works from a place of values in a way that she fuels what she does, and she accomplishes a lot. Aaron, you're a very busy woman, and you keep a lot of heart space for the people that you are encouraging and leading in your work. And it seems like you do that from a place of remembering what matters to you, whether it's with your family. And Shoshana, you too, my friends, when you think about what matters to you, who gets a little hit of energy? Who gets a boost when you think about actually accomplishing the part that matters? Maybe you come home exhausted from a long day, but your kid is excited about something from school. Something good happened in their life today. And they're like, hey mom, guess what happened at school? What happens to you? You get that burst of energy to listen when really your brain had just been telling you, no more room. No more information can go in. I literally can't care about anything else. But if your child comes up to you, or your grandchild, Super Lou, I know your tiny ones that you love, they're a source of joy and delight in your life. There's a lot of meaning there for you. Your bandwidth for being there as Pop is almost boundless when you're needed for something, when they want to share something with you. That is the power of operating from your values. It's a value strength for you to be there in their life in that way. So whatever you're doing, and Lou, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I've seen you light up when you talk about them. And we all have things in our life like this. Often it's people. There are people we care about. But what is it about that person that just you have this heart connection to them? What is meaningful in that? Sometimes these are customers or clients you're working with, people you're motivated to help and care for. The reason sometimes you're motivated to help and care for them is because there's a meaning link. There's a value there that you're honoring. It may be the value of honesty, where you're helping them know the truth, where you know what it can be like in this world to try to get good information or a straight answer. And so whatever you're working through that day, when someone seeks you for that truth, you make space to help them know what's going on because you value that honesty. Whatever that is, I hope you go out today. That's really the challenge today, is to go out today and give yourself some room to look for what matters in your life and let that be the driving force that fuels you. If you're in a challenging place right now, maybe the work that you're doing is something you do, you're grateful to pay the bills, but the work itself isn't feeling very meaningful right now. If that's you, I feel for you, because I think everyone has been in that spot at least once in their lives. And that is it can be a difficult place to feel engaged from, right? If that's you, I want you to think about your workload and say, okay, what matters to me in life? If I wasn't doing this, what do I care about? What's meaningful? What do I love to be able to do or provide or bring to the world? What do I wish I was doing? And look for the meaning behind that. What matters? Well, I wish I could help people be healthier, make good choices. I wish I could help people make better decisions about their finances. Or I wish I was doing more things that mattered to myself, that I was able to show up in a way that I didn't feel like I was putting my dreams on hold anymore. Whatever that is, however you see yourself wanting to show up. Take that and then turn back to your job and say, okay, this thing that matters to me, keeping promises to myself, maybe. Say, what is a promise I made to myself about my work? And how could I try today to keep more of my promises to myself in my work? Well, I promised myself that I wouldn't work late every night, every week. All right. How many nights a week have I been working late? Well, I've been working late every night. All right. What night this week could I put a line in the sand and make sure I don't work late? How could I make that happen? And honor that value of your own of keeping a promise to yourself. And you say, you know what? Maybe I won't fix every night this week, but Wednesday, I'm going to get home. I'm going to get home on time on Wednesday. I'm going to close the computer. Maybe you work at home and your work is bleeding over into all your family time. You say, you know what? On Wednesday, I'm setting an alarm. And maybe I'm going to tell my partner so they can hold me accountable and say at 5 o'clock, that computer is closing. And I'm going to give it a break until the next day, right? What could you do to keep that promise to yourself a little bit more this week? Love it. Love it. Love it. And Shosho, I'm glad you like it too. You got to worry about yourself when you start to see your promises to yourself constantly not being kept. One of the best ways to turn the tide on this is to say, what's one way this week I could turn the ship a little? What's one small promise that would be meaningful to me that I could find a way to keep? How could I? When you use that word how, and maybe bring in its best friend if, say, if I was to keep a promise to myself this week, how might I do it? It's amazing what your brain will come up with. I hope this goes well for you this week, Shoshana, and for everybody else. Jonna, it sounds like you also could value this. The promises that you are or are not keeping to yourself. Sometimes getting back to what matters can be a powerful way to come from strength. And it's those meaningful promises. Love that hashtag, Superlou. Keep meaningful promises. It's not about mindlessly becoming a robot that once I say something, I can never change my mind. But there are meaningful promises that you've been making to yourself. And if they keep getting put on hold, reconnecting to the meaning will give you the strength to start keeping some of those promises. So do we like this? Is this useful? It's just a little taste from the VIA strengths, using those values in action. It's really important that when we think about strengths, we don't just think in terms of doing and skills. Skills are great, and getting things done is one of my favorite things in the world. But your values can help you make it happen. So thank you for that encouragement, Jonna. Glad we like this. Whatever you do, everybody stay September strong. We'll see you again next week for one more free coaching this month on strengths. We're going to be talking about connecting to other people using your strengths. So that's a really helpful one, whether it's for friends or for business. We hope to see you. Glad you love it, Superlou. We love having you. Hope everybody has a great day. Stay wild and brave, and we'll see you next time.